Welcome to Connected by Community, a podcast brought to you by Ballantine Capital Advisors. Anthony and I are here to connect you with the community and small businesses, not-for-profits, hobbyists, and personal endeavors, just to enhance your knowledge on what's going on around the community. So we have a special guest with us today, Vickie Zambrano. She is the owner and chief curator of Curean. I had to practice that. Chief curator of Curean. So welcome, Vickie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, your restaurant is recently opened in downtown Greenville, kind of like the West End hub of Greenville. So tell us a little bit about this new restaurant.
So we opened December 15th. So we're still a baby. I always say 2-month anniversary tomorrow. So we're still in our first phase, I say. We're just doing dinner service right now. We're a Mediterranean small plate focused restaurant. We've got the little build your own charcuterie, and we've got a really good craft cocktail menu and a wine menu curated around like small family-owned vineyards.
Great.
Yeah, so we're doing dinners right now, and then we've got brunch planned in the next few weeks, and then lunches. And then we're already doing our caterings and our private events. So we're easing into it.
So I was there just not too long ago. You had a private event on a Monday night, and it was a 4-course Italian dinner. Anthony, I should have invited you since you're Italian, but you didn't. I took my husband instead. But it was fabulous. You had a wine person there that was pairing the wines with the different courses that we had, and the wines were delicious. The food was delicious. I had a first in that I've never eaten wild boar before.
Oh, really?
And that was on the menu, and it was fabulous. I was like so amazed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we did Mission Grapes is one of our wine distributors, and they focus on your small family vineyards, more your natural wines. So they're not adding a lot of things into your wine during that process. So those are all little things important to me. So it's been fun getting to partner with them. And yes, they did pair the wine dinner for us. And yes, we focused on Italian. That was our first one, but we're doing them once a month now.
Oh, great. Yeah. Great. Tell us about your chef that you have.
Austin McGordy. He's been in the Greenville restaurant scene for years now. We've known each other, I guess, kind of 5-ish years and in passing in the industry. And then last year when I had a crazy idea to open up a restaurant, I needed a chef, and we're both lead volunteers at Euphoria, ran into each other, and we kind of hit it off from there. So it's been fun ever since.
Great.
Tell us about your passion for food. Like, where did that come from? Did it start at a young age?
Yeah, well, I'm Greek, so I mean, I could end it at that, I think. It's in our blood. But yeah, I think food is always... And you're Italian, so I think you get it. Like, everything is, like, surrounding food. So it's like, oh, you made straight A's on, like, your progress report. Like, growing up, it was like, what are we eating? Or, like, where are we going to celebrate? It's like food, you know?
Love
and too much
equals
of
food.
it. We always had too much.
Yeah. So it was always started that way. And now even growing up, like, and I realize whenever I do see my parents now, it's food centered. It's either we're trying a new restaurant or my dad wants to like make a new dish, and it's always food centered. So I think I grew up, and it didn't occur to me until recently that like I grew up food focused on everything.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
And I say that you and I both go to the Greek church.
Yeah.
St. George Greek
Who's
Orthodox
also obsessed
Church,
with food.
which is also obsessed with food.
Yeah.
And I saw because the Greek festival comes up in May, and they're already preparing everybody for volunteering and everything else. You do the pizza booth.
Yeah.
You're like the lead on the pizza booth, which is a very popular booth.
Yeah, I took that over a couple years ago. Did not know what I was getting myself into, but it's been really fun ever since.
First step into ownership, right?
Yeah, and I always would joke. I was like, is this what it feels like to have a restaurant for like a weekend?
Yeah.
Because I'd have to order all the food and prep everything and staff it and run it for the weekend. And I was like, I feel like I have a little mini restaurant for the weekend. So I guess it prepped me a little.
So this didn't come out of the blue. You did work in restaurants and the industry in the past.
Well, it did and it didn't come out of the blue. Like I never knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. I guess this is what I'm doing. But it was never in the cards, which sounds crazy. And people are like, you never? I was like, it never was in the cards. I had the idea. And then with a lot of encouraging from friends and just my industry, and everyone was like, well, this person and this person and this person, like, and you had all the right people on the bus to do this.
Right.
And then it just kind of happened. The bus started rolling and now we're just flying down the highway. So yes and no, it was always in the cards, but it's natural from the Greek roots. It's natural.
Personally, what are some things that you like to do outside of work? Now, I know that opening a restaurant, and getting it off the ground and keeping it running can take up probably about, 120 hours of your week, right? But if not more than that.
You hit the nail on the head. Yeah.
But what other things are you passionate about? I know we've talked personally, you do some volunteer work. So tell us a little bit about that.
Right now, I'm helping out the Julie Valentine Center a good bit. I have a good friend over there, and she's shared all the good work they do. And I believe in everything that they're doing. So even with the restaurant, I've got the restaurant involved, and we're doing a raffling off a private dinner, and then all the proceeds are going to give them back to the Julie Valentine Center. And any of their big events, I always like helping volunteer to set up or run it or tear down or just whatever they need.
Yeah.
So I'll do a little bit of that. I have a dog named Charlie that I'm obsessed with. So I like to hang out with Charlie, and then I like to go to the gym. And I don't know. I think I need a hobby, but my hobby is thinking about the restaurant right now.
I can imagine.
So that's my hobby.
Everything, hey, what's a cool drink to make or experimenting on the side? What are some things I love to eat and,
But it's not work though. I think people are like, it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like what I do, and it's something that I enjoy. So that's why I'm like, I don't think it's a hobby, but it's not work. It's just what I do.
Yeah, it's your passion.
Yeah.
You're doing your passion, which it's hard for. That's a small part of the population that actually gets to do what they're so interested in and intrigued with and motivated by. So kudos to you for kind of this early in your life, kind of like finding that passion and that path that you're on. So. You mentioned something a little different that I haven't heard around town. You mentioned charcuterie. Mm-hmm. So how does your restaurant kind of go with that charcuterie theme? What's your thoughts there?
So you've been to the restaurant and you've seen it's full-fledged restaurant. That was not how it started. It started, I had the idea of a build your own charcuterie concept, kind of like, like the quick service places, I hate to say it, but like Chipotle and stuff. You go through and you can pick what you want and all. So I had that idea with charcuterie boards because I was like, I'm picky about what's on my stuff, and I'm like, I don't like the blue cheese and stuff like that. So I'm like, what if you can go through and you pick everything on there? So that's how this concept started. Just you go through the line, you pick what you want, and then you have some dining tables, but mostly it's kind of like a carry out. And then from there I was like, well, let's add maybe like some sandwiches and salads. And then I was like, well, if I got all the space, let me add like coffee and pastries, and you can work during the day. And then it grew, and then I was like, okay, well, maybe we do like a wine lounge also. So you can come and you can also drink a little, and then it's comfy, and you can like graze on like a charcuterie. And then it turned into the interior designer fit a bar in the restaurant somehow, and on the floor plan. And then I was like, okay, well then, we'll up the game a little bit. And then I hired a chef, like a real chef, not just someone that was going to prep charcuterie all day. And he gave me like a real restaurant menu. And I was like, okay, this is great. So then it kept like evolving and evolving and evolving. But the build your own charcuterie still is our thing. We're doing caterings, and I don't have the quick service side open yet. Which I'm sure you saw on the one side of the restaurant with all the retail and everything. So that concept, I still did keep it. The whole go through your line and pick what you want, and then you can carry it out. But I just upped it a little bit more, so I have like picnic baskets and all those things on the little retail wall. And we're downtown on Main Street, so I figured, you can go to Falls Park or Unity Park if you're making a little picnic. You could take your board, if you have your kids and y'all are going to go to the park. Mom's like, let's just grab some snacks really quickly. So it's evolved a lot, but the build your own charcuterie was the basis of everything. Yes.
Gotcha.
How'd you come up with the menu, and does it change weekly?
Well, it doesn't change weekly. It's Mediterranean inspired. So mostly Mediterranean. It's not all Greek. We've got a little Italian. There's some French influences and some Spanish things. We are trying to focus on like local. I don't like the whole, ordering like produce from like a big box and it's just coming from like all over the country. I'm like, why don't we try and get everything that's local to like the Southeast? So with that, we're also seasonal because I don't want to just, if tomatoes and, they're not seasonal, I don't want to have them on the menu. So we try and do seasonally. So we're in our winter menu still right now, and we're thinking about our spring menu already. We'll roll out probably like April-ish sometime. So whatever is local and fresh in the region right now is kind of what you're going to see a good bit on the menu.
Gotcha.
And I like change. So and that kind of goes with the whole concept of the restaurant where you can have a lot of small plates and share and just have a little bit of everything and share with like whoever you're with, your friends or your family. So the whole seasonal and changing things means you can keep coming in and keep sharing different things with your friends and family.
Do you need reservations? Or can you make reservations?
You can make reservations on our website. You don't need them. Weekends do get really busy, but we try and keep bar for like walk-ins,
Right.
and weekdays you can normally get a table if you walk in. So we're not reservation exclusive.
And I know you said brunch is coming, so what are your times?
I'm thinking maybe like 11 to 2-ish for brunch. We haven't nailed that one down 100% yet.
Is that Greek time or?
It is Greek time. So who knows? All day.
Hang out all day. What? There was a place downtown years ago before COVID that was brunch, and it was unlimited Bloody Marys or something like that. It was kind of crazy. Make your own Bloody Mary. So
Yum.
it got a little, probably after the second Bloody Mary, it got a little messy. I don't think they do that anymore.
Wow, that is a lot. Bloody Marys all day.
Bloody Marys all day. That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good. All right. So women-owned business.
Yes.
What are your struggles?
I will say this is really interesting. So one of my neighbors that owns a bar around us said, and she opened like 15 years ago, and she's woman-owned also. It was her and another lady. They were partners. And back then, she said that a lot of times they would go into meetings or something, and they were meeting, say it was like a male they were meeting for like insurance or whatever. They would get in, and then the man would be like, so when, is everyone here? Like, where's the man in charge? Like, when is he coming? And the ladies would be like, no, like, we're who you're meeting with. And I think they struggled a lot back then. So now I've had that in the back of my head this whole time, but I haven't really experienced too much. I do get a lot of comments. People are like, oh, you're young. Like, how are you doing this by yourself? And a lot of questions. But I don't think I've felt what they felt 15 years ago with someone just flat out asking me, like, where's the man in charge?
Right. That's good.
So, yeah, I haven't experienced that. I have been questioned a good bit, like, you're young, or you're doing this by yourself? Like, where are your investors? And I'm like, there's no investors. I was just really smart with my money growing up. So you're dealing with me right now. So it's been interesting, but it hasn't been as scary as those ladies kind of put ideas in my head. So it hasn't been bad. So good for 2024.
Oh yeah,
We're
definitely.
making progress.
Now we hear about how unemployment is really low in the state of South Carolina. How is it getting people to work for you?
It has not been bad.
Good.
I've had to turn some people away because I'm just fully staffed and I just don't have any more
That's
work.
fantastic.
And even the staff I have right now, they all want more hours, which is really good. It's a good problem. So that's why it's pushing me also to say, okay, we need to open for brunch and lunch. So I've got more hours to give people. So knock on wood, it's been good so far.
Awesome. So
It's got to be helpful to be in Greenville where it's actually continue to grow, right?
Yeah.
And
travel.
it's actually a food town, right? I mean, there's so many great food places. Did that play a role in opening a restaurant?
I think a lot, yeah. A lot. And even staffing wise, I think everyone that comes to me, they're like, I really do like charcuterie or like your Mediterranean small plates. Like, I just want to work here. Like, Greenville loves food. Like, it's a foodie town. So I do think that helps also. Everyone just likes the concept. And
We just need an Italian restaurant. That's all.
There's plenty of Italian restaurants.
there are, but there's never too many.
There's never too
Not
many.
Italian. No, not Italian.
If you were to give somebody advice, now, I know you just opened in December and you're a few months in. I'm sure the planning process has been in the works for a while. If a new restaurant was opening next door to you, totally different concept of yours, and it was another women-owned business,
Oh, that's exciting.
what would you, like your neighbors did, how would you advise them? What kind of suggestions would you make? What kind of, you hear the saying that if you're a woman and you're rising up, put a hand down and help another one up on that ledge as well.
Yeah.
So how would you work that?
That's actually really good timing because tomorrow I'm actually meeting someone. A customer came into the restaurant and my age also, she's like, I'm thinking about opening a restaurant and I have no idea. Like, would you talk? And I was like, yes. I was like, I will give you everyone I used, all my vendors. Like, I will give you all the ideas and the resources because I think it's cool. I think women wanting to open restaurants is really cool. And doing it by yourself is just, very cool. Like 2024, like women opening restaurants by themselves I think it's incredible. So I've got all my information and I'm a little OCD. So I've got it all like in spreadsheets and everything. And I just want to give it to people.
That's excellent. That is really fantastic.
That would be exciting if someone did move in next door. Female owned.
Female owned, but what concept would you want? Not
One that
not
doesn't compete with me.
Yeah, doesn't compete with you at all. Baking.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't compete with me, I want anything.
That's funny. All right, I have to ask because I'm always after a good cup of coffee. So who do you guys use for your coffee vendor? Like what kind of coffee?
I just made an espresso before I came here at the restaurant. So we've got Illy Italian coffee. The espresso is what I'm using right now. We've got a whole espresso set up and it's fresh ground. So that's not local, but a lot of my things we're importing because I wanted them to be like truly Mediterranean.
Right.
So it is an Italian espresso that we have in right now.
Oh, sweet. Now you
love
have to go.
espresso.
You
I
have to
love
go
it.
now.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it really pure right now. So it's just espressos that I have. We haven't rolled out like all the cappuccinos and all the things. It's just espresso right now.
Just keep it simple.
Just trying to keep it authentic.
Okay, so who have been some of your mentors? If you think not just your neighboring restaurant, but who kind of like who has mentored you, whether it has been past job experiences or people, church, family, who has been kind of like your mentors that have made you successful?
Oh, good question. I would say there are a lot of other restaurants that I've reached out to. I like the whole community feel. I know a lot of restaurants maybe they don't want to give each other help or ideas or resources because it's seen as competition, but I'm kind of the opposite. I'm like, we're all in the same industry.
Right,
At the
right.
end of the day, we might be making different foods, so we're not competition. Like,
Right.
I believe, like, we should all help each other out. So, you know, I'm friends with the owners of Poppy's Tacos, and Jorge's helped me. I've asked so many questions and borrowed things, and he's emergency brought me gelato one night before because I ran out, and they spin theirs themselves. So I was like, Jorge, I need some gelato, and he ran it over. The guys at Society were friends, so I've asked Jeremy so many questions the past year, and he's helped me with some content shoots and just little things, and like that stuff helps. And then Kayling over at Some Bar, I guess she's the one that really encouraged, not like she told me I should do this, but I helped her with her grand opening, and she's my age and woman owned. And I was like, if she can open a restaurant by herself, I can do it. Like, if she's doing it, I can do it. So she's been a good inspiration. And again, with all the random texts, like, who is your insurance person? And, you know, is this a normal thing that I need to be dealing with? So it has been a lot of people that I've been able to reach out to. And I will say in my career, since I've been in hospitality for 15 years in Greenville, I think just all the random little things that I've done, I'm using it all right now. Like payroll, I'm just doing it really easily. And the other day I was like, how do I know how to do payroll? And I'm like, oh, I did it like out this one job. And then, you know, little things, I was setting up like an Eventbrite event last night. And I was like, why is this so easy? And I was like, oh, because I used to do this all the time for like that company that I worked for.
Right.
So I've always just said yes to anything, like growing up and in my career. You know, if someone randomly was like, I need this on Friday night, like, can you do it? I was just like, yeah, sure. So I've picked up a lot of just random things, and now I'm seeing it's all coming together, and I'm like, okay, I'm glad I did that random job like 4 years ago for that person on that like Tuesday night, because then I learned how to do this, and I have to do it today. So it's been a lot of just saying yes to things, and then just being nice to people. I think just be nice to people. If someone needs help them. Because it comes back around. You know, I've reached out to a lot of people the past 2 months with random just asks, and they've reciprocated. So it's been nice. I say it takes a village.
It does. It does. It takes a village to raise kids. It takes a village
Yeah.
to start a business.
A restaurant as a child, I'm learning. Yes, everyone is helping me raise this baby of a restaurant.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about your cocktails, because you kind of advertise specialty cocktails.
So I found a really good mixologist, Lindsay. She's my bar lead now, and I'm letting her run with the cocktail program. We're trying to get creative and not having your typical drinks that you might see everywhere. So even liquors, we're being really specific on what we're picking. We're not doing like, you know, your big brands that you see everywhere. We're trying to stay local with the liquors, and we've got like Ocean organic vodka right now, which is, it's either carbon negative or carbon
Neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neutral. I was like, what is it? Carbon neutral. I can't remember which one. But, you know, every bottle you buy is like giving back to the ocean, and it's making sure we're keeping the ocean clean, and like we're really focused on little things like that, like little impacts that we can make. Like I don't have any straws in the restaurant, and some people are not happy if I'm just like, save the turtles, or, you know? And Lindsay's making everything in-house. She likes to try and keep everything really clean, as much organic stuff as possible. Her and I both, we flip the label on everything, and I'm like, what is in this?
Yeah.
You know, when a rep brings it in, I'm like, what is in this? And if there's any like dyes or things I can't pronounce, we just pass and we move on to something else.
Those natural flavors.
Yeah, we're also skeptical on those.
Yeah.
So Lindsay is making a lot. She does shifts in the kitchen where she's actually just making like the syrups and the garnishes and everything in the kitchen. And we're trying to have zero food waste also with the bar. So if she's like, I'm juicing these oranges for this drink because we need juice, and also we're not buying any of the juices or anything. She's actually juicing citrus and everything in-house. So then we're like, well, now we have all these peels. Like, we don't want to just throw them away. So a lot of our Garnishes might just be like a peel or something kind of left over that we're like reusing to make sure we're just not throwing a lot away. So I'm very proud of what she's doing with our craft cocktails. Zero waste, really clean, local, and really tasty.
I was about to say, I'm now thirsty for for a cocktail. Now, their wines are great, but the craft cocktails sound delish.
Yeah, no, she's killing it. I'm spoiled now. I went out the other day and got a margarita somewhere, and I could tell it was like a mix that they bought somewhere.
Yeah.
And I texted her, and I was like, Lindsay, I can just taste it's artificial, and you're just spoiled me. I was like, you make the simple syrup, and you juice the limes in house. She's like, sorry. I'm like, don't apologize.
I'm only having margaritas with you from now on.
So we do have a signature question.
Uh-huh.
What makes you tick?
I'm a little OCD, so that's a broad question for me, I think.
What gets you going? What gets you waking up?
I think I'm a workaholic. So I think
You have to be in this business.
yeah, I think I am. So I wake up in the morning and the first thing in the back of my head is like, what are my emails? What do we need to do? Even if I'm scrolling on Instagram or something, my algorithm is all food and bev now.
Yeah.
So it's constantly, when I see something, I'm like, oh, what plates do they have? Like, what are our plates looking like? Like, I'm just always like thinking about things. So I guess I don't know. I'm motivating myself. I don't like saying that though, but like I guess that's what's happening because I'm just constantly like, okay, what can we change? How can we be better? What are we doing next? So it's always like the gear in the back of my head is just turning, work wise.
Tell us where you're located. For the people listening, where are you?
Downtown, Main Street. West End. We are right next to Smiley's on the Rocks, in the same building, right across from, kind of like diagonal from the Copper Penny and Old Europe and everything down there.
Right.
So we're over there.
Oh, good. So really
Walkable.
Falls Park area and
Yeah.
that kind of downtown. Fantastic. Now, how do people connect with you? Do you have a bunch of social media?
We've got Instagram and Facebook, and we are launching a TikTok soon.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Actually everyone in house is like really excited about TikToks, and everyone keeps showing me ideas and they're like, can we do this and this and this? I'm like, yes, y'all can do it all. I don't know how to do it, but y'all can do it. So yes.
All video.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Well, anything else you want to add? Any kind of like March events coming up, April events coming up that you want to tell us about?
March and April, we'll have our monthly wine dinners.
What day are those wine dinners? Are they always on a Monday or?
This month is on a Monday, and next month I think I did a Tuesday.
Okay.
And then
So check Facebook.
yeah, our social
Online, social media.
online, our
Yeah.
website. We'll post about those. I think March, April, I'm gonna do like an Italian liquor dinner, so it won't be wine. It'll be a liquor dinner.
Wow.
Uber there. We'll do that.
Limoncello.
And then yes, yeah, we started it in house already.
Great.
And then we'll do Easter catering. If you need a little charcuterie board, you don't want to make it yourself for Easter, we got you. And then I know we've got like Brunch Fest over at Judson Mill coming up. We're doing Southern Roots on the 20th. We'll be participating in that. And I think that's it. I was just looking at our calendar. I think that's all we've got going on right now. But then our focus is going to be opening brunch and lunch also.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an event in my head.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, you're expanding your offerings and growing your business, and looks like it's going to go great.
It's going.
Well, we wish you the best,
Thank
Vickie,
you.
and thank you so much for joining us. So, thank you for joining us at Connected by Community, brought to you by Ballantyne Capital Advisors. We appreciate Curean and the restaurant business and coming to join us today and letting us know the great things that are happening downtown and the different events that Curean is having. So please reach out to Vickie and check her out on her social media posts and Instagram and Facebook and soon to be some TikTok, hopefully making some craft cocktail TikToks.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us at Connected by Community. Have a wonderful day.